Everybody knows that in the restaurant life it's been a hectic period. So we decided to take our good chefs, Matti and Livon, on a bit more of a quality trip to the Bella Vita life in Italy. We'll be joining Dario Cecchini in Panzano, Tuscany for the best meat in town and maybe perhaps even in Italy. We're going to be joining the butchers of Norsia, known for their delicacies surrounding the pork.
Jord, you're always talking about the food, but let's not forget about the drinks. I would say Italy, aperitivo, but foremost you were talking about Dario, and that is of course Chianti and Vinsanto. But also we were in Norsia, where you have great butchers, but even better monks who brew fantastic beer.
And of course we're here for inspiration, but not only for ourselves, no, also for you. Because after a few years, it is time for the sequel of the famous Black Smoke Barbecue book. So yes, we're here and we will share our findings. And where's here?
Yeah, here is Umbria, and we are absolutely lucky because Willeke and Thomas, my aunt and my nephew, welcomed us in their Casa Bella Fiori just to have some great barbecue.
Good barbecue and a lot of splashing around. Halle! On this trip, we're in search of the best ingredients Perugia and Umbria have to offer for our Italian feast. Our first goal for this trip is finding some great Italian pork belly to make an incredible truffle-overloaded porchetta. So we headed out to the local butcher of Magione, a small town at the Trasimeno Lake. The butcher and his daughter received us after opening hours, so we had all the time to ask around and take a look at their pork belly prepping skills. With a humongous pork belly prepped for us, we're headed out to our next stop, Panzano, for probably the best bistecca alla Fiorentina Italy has on offer. We arrived here in Panzano, where our meaty friend Dario Cecchini runs a world-famous barbecue butchery and couple of restaurants. Kasper, what are we going to be expecting here?
Well, a lot of red meat, especially the bistecca Fiorentina, and most of all, and that is most important, some good wine, Vino Santo, Chianti, and maybe also one grappa or two.
Let's dive in and find out what Dario Cecchini is all about.
Mi chiamo Dario Cecchini e sono l'ottava generazione della famiglia Cecchini, macellai in Panzano. Panzano è un piccolissimo paese nel cuore della Toscana e nel cuore del Chianti classico, il miglior vino rosso del mondo per me. Io cerco di ritornare alla cucina delle origini, alla cucina delle tribù. Il cacciatore che torna con l'animale ucciso, la tribù che si riunisce intorno al fuoco e c'è carne e fuoco. Ma c'è un grandissimo segreto in questo. Deve essere solo carne e fuoco, ma il maestro di griglia deve aver bevuto perlomeno 2 bicchieri di Chianti classico. La griglia è un problema di pancia, non di testa. Il nostro lavoro, il lavoro della macelleria, è per dare felicità agli umani, per far vedere che la vita non è solo business, non è solo denaro, ma si può essere in una grande tavola in convivio. Convivio è la nostra filosofia, il nostro mantra, vivere insieme la tavola e onorare il sacrificio, la morte dell'animale che nutre la nostra vita, il ringraziamento.
And thankful we are after this incredible visit, the great food and receiving all the joy and warmth Dario had to offer. With full bellies and a huge bistecca alla Fiorentina crossed off our shopping list, we're headed out to Norsia, a small town in between the mountains of Perugia. Here we meet up with brother Augustinus for some next local produce, the amazing beers brewed by the young monks of Norsia.
So we opened the brewery in 2012. It was a very big success and went very well. We quickly expanded and got a bigger brew house. and we're growing slowly as a business until the earthquakes of 2016. Since then, we've had to change our business model. We now brew the beer at another brewery for the meantime until we finish our monastery construction, and then we hope perhaps one day, God willing, we'll be able to brew here in Norsia again. So Norsia is in the mountains of central Italy, one of the coldest places on the peninsula, and there isn't a strong culture of wine here. So there is no alcoholic drink to pair with the great food you find here. We saw that hole, that gap, as an opportunity to create our beer and to pair it with the great food of the town. We have two beers. They're both in the Belgian Abbey ale tradition. There's the Bionda, which is 6%. It's a nice, crisp, refreshing beer brewed with the best Italian Pilsner malt, Styrian Goldings and Saaz hops. Our second beer is called Extra. It's 10%, a very, very dark ruby red. It's very complex, but very smooth, and so it's very dangerous. We do have some hopes for some new beers. We want to brew a triple and perhaps also do some barrel-aged beers one day, maybe featuring even the special black truffle of Norsia.
Next to the beers, Norsia is also famous for its sausages. In the town, you'll find many Norsinos, butchers specialized in pork products like sausages and charcuterie. So with a trunk full of beers, the Black Smoke crew of course had to do some shopping for those delicious sausages and charcuterie. With a car loaded with the best ingredients Perugia and Umbria have to offer, we arrived at the home of Willeke and Thomas at Monte del Lago. And wow, what a view! All hyped up, we had to build a custom fire pit to prepare all these big chunks of meat. We found a huge pile of rocks that would probably do the trick.
Hopsa!
While building the fire pit, we noticed the wind picking up, big clouds of smoke rising from around the lake, and firefighting planes scooping water from that lake. So we connected the dots and made the smart decision to turn our dinner feast into an exuberant lunch the next day, and use this evening for some more drinks with Kasper's family. The next day, the wind died down and we were all set up to go. To take measures, we were sure to continuously keep spraying the grass with some water, so flying sparks wouldn't stand a chance. For our first preps, we started with the porchetta. Matthias added a salt mix from Dario's, which has herbs like thyme, sage, rosemary and lavender in it. For the real Italian flavor, he added truffle paste and topped it off by slicing down a huge amount of truffles. While the temperature was rising to about 40 degrees Celsius, we speeded up the cooking. We made the grilled broccolini with anchovies recipe from the new Black Smoke book. Simmered the sausages from Norsia with some fresh tomatoes, white beans from the region, and andouja, a kind of spreadable spicy pork sausage. Livon used the fig leaves from the garden to make the Piemonte's fire-baked sea bass recipe from the book and stuffed it with lemon, garlic, fresh herbs and red pepper. While family and friends started arriving, the Norsian charcuterie platter was served and Kasper filled up the glasses with some refreshing aperitivo to balance the heat. Our Italian barbecue fest was ready to start. What a great way to get inspired by the Italian cuisine and ingredients in black smoke style. Filled up with red wine from Chianti and monastery beer, it was time to look back at an amazing trip. Together with lovely people and with a great view, we enjoyed all the best flavors this region has to offer. From the beers of the monks from Norsia and the sausages from the Norsinos, to the pork belly of Magioni and the beef alla Fiorentina from Dario. Of course, we wanted to share all this inspiration and flavors with you. So check out these recipes and many more in our new book, Black Smoke 2, Fire, Ice and BBQ Attitude. That's it for now, but we'll definitely be back soon with some great new adventures. So stay tuned.